You look at the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Charlotte Flair, multiple time world champion, I believe 14 times was the last time I checked in terms of my math. She might have just won a championship again because we know that's what Charlotte does. She wins the Royal Rumble, returning after a horrific injury that held her out for more than a year. Reemerges at the number 27 mark, wins the Royal Rumble matchup, and over the course of the last week, we've seen her appear on Raw, discussing the possibility of facing off against Rhea Ripley. We saw her on Tuesday's NXT, where she confronted Giulia, the NXT champion. And of course on Friday Night SmackDown, discussing the possibility of facing Tiffany Stratton. Charlotte Flair has an interesting road ahead of her because she's actually taken into consideration the NXT title. She's already set the precedence because back in 2020, when she had won her first Royal Rumble matchup, she chose to face off against Rhea Ripley for that NXT title, going so far as to actually win the title. Now, if you ask me, I don't think it was necessary. I don't think she needed to win that NXT title. I think it would have benefited Rhea Ripley a lot more being able to share that ring with Charlotte, share the moment with Charlotte, and then defeating her for that title. It would have elevated her stock at an earlier point in her career. Maybe she wasn't ready, but regardless, it worked out in the end. You look at the history of that NXT championship, Charlotte has now won it twice. Of course, having won it back in 2014 and, as I mentioned, in 2020, can she go for the trifecta? Can she go for 3? And by facing off against Giulia, one of the biggest stars in Japan, facing one of the biggest stars in North America, it has a big money match already written on it. But I don't think that's where we go. I do not think that's where we go. You then look at the possibility of her having the rematch against Rhea Ripley. They had a phenomenal title match at WrestleMania 39. We talked about their match at WrestleMania 36, but it was in front of nobody. Nobody in attendance. I don't blame you if you don't even remember the matchup because WrestleMania 36 is one of those events where it kind of gets lost in the sauce. WrestleMania 39 at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. They had a great match, a banger of a matchup. Some people believed it was the best women's matchup of the year. Certainly in the case of the WWE, if you want to include other promotions as well, that's up for your debate. But Charlotte and Rhea Ripley putting on full display why they are the cream of the crop, why are they the top dogs in the women's division. Could we be getting part 3? Charlotte won in 2020. Rhea won it in 2023. Can we go for part 3? It's very enticing. I will say, early on, I was against it. We've already seen it, done it. But then listening to that promo between them two, on the Raw following the Royal Rumble, and Rhea Ripley urging Charlotte to pick her because she believes that Charlotte doesn't respect Rhea the way Rhea respects Charlotte. And she says she wants to beat the respect into Charlotte. Now, I don't know about you, but those were some fighting words. And last time I checked, pro wrestling is all about fighting. And I would like to see that. I very much would like to see that. But I don't think that's where we go either. I think instead, Charlotte Flair will be challenging Miss Tiffany Stratton for her newly acquired WWE Women's Championship that she had won on the first SmackDown of 2025. The story's already laid out. They talked about how Tiffany Stratton, ever since day one, has been looked at as baby Charlotte, has been looked at the successor to that of Charlotte Flair. The athleticism is there. The presentation is there. You could even argue that the character work is there. Tiffany Stratton has risen to prominence at a rapid rate, having gotten over at last year's Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia, and since then has consistently been able to have a great ovation regardless of the location of where the match takes place. She would allow that momentum to propel her to the very tippy top of the ladder, winning Money in the Bank, and would hold on to that briefcase while also becoming buddy-buddy with Nia Jax, who won the Queen of the Ring, and parlay that into the Women's Championship herself until Tiffany Stratton found the perfect moment to cash in on her former friend Nia Jax. And now, As the current reigning and defending women's champion, she has the target on her back, but it's not just any target. It's a target in the shape of a diamond because Charlotte Flair, the predecessor, the original, is coming back to reclaim some championship gold. It's new school versus old school. The only question is who is the babyface and who is the heel? The fans would want you to believe that Charlotte is the heel and Tiffany's the babyface. She's been getting, big pops wherever it is that she's been. And Charlotte has been nothing but booed since returning from the Royal Rumble. Narrative wise, it would make sense for Tiffany to be the heel. Cocky, arrogant, thinking her time is now, the legends are gone, not about them. And Charlotte's the conquering hero, returning from injury, wanting to prove that I still got it. But the fans have flipped that switch. If they flip that switch, Charlotte, the arrogant heel, demonstrating that I know I'm better than you. I just have to beat you. If you ask me, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair makes all the sense in the world. And upon that being official, I feel really bad for Stratton because I don't think she beats Charlotte. I really don't. I struggle to believe that we are going to have a Royal Rumble winner not capitalize and win that championship. I mean, Charlotte Flair, the golden girl of the WWE women's division. I mean, they're going to give her a 15th world championship, only 2 shy of breaking her father's record, something John Cena wants to accomplish. But who's going to accomplish it first? Will it be John Cena or will it be Charlotte Flair? I don't know, man. I don't know. The road to WrestleMania, like I said, very difficult to predict right now. Very difficult.